Hello, you guys. Yes, I'm looking a little bit crusty, dusty, musty, but like, I just wanted to like come over here and tell you, everything I'm saying in this video is alleged, just so Ticketmaster don't come for me, but also fix your site, but also like everything in here is alleged, even though I was there. It's allegedly, it's allegedly, it's allegedly, it's allegedly, it's allegedly. Okay? Okay, bye. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Rants with Jordan and I am Jordan. If you are new here, thank you for checking out this video and don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are returning, thank you so much for returning and watching another one of my videos. So I'm just going to get right into this video. I'm talking kind of low because it's the weekend, so usually I can talk really loud, but like we just had Thanksgiving break, and I should talk about my Thanksgiving break in the video, but we just had Thanksgiving break. Everyone's back from traveling all day today. Everyone's asleep, and my roommate is not back yet. I don't think he's coming back until like tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow. I'll do come back until Tuesday or Monday. So I'm gonna try and get like this video in, and maybe try and get another video, make I think of anything else to talk about. And you guys will be getting this video in like, if not tonight, then in the next 2 days you'll be getting a video. But and this will be that video. But anyway, I'm going to jump right into this, and if you can tell by the title, today we are talking about Taylor Swift, Ticketmaster, the Eras Tour, and everything that has happened everything that has happened up until this point. Now I'm going to talk to you guys about my experience, because I'm going to go see Taylor Swift with one of my friends, because you know, disclaimer, I got my tickets, so yeah. But yeah, so I'm gonna go see Taylor Swift with one of my friends, and that's gonna be very fun. So yeah, we're going to talk about everything that's happened, everything that me and my friend went through and all that stuff. So let's start from the beginning, where it all started. So as you all know, back in, I really want to say October, late October, Taylor Swift releases her album Midnights, and I'm going to do a video on Midnights. Midnights is a phenomenal album. Like I think it is my newest favorite Taylor Swift album, and like I know all the Swifties hate this fucking album, but like I love it. I'm so sorry. I love basic pop music. So, but anyway, Taylor Swift releases Midnight. She shatters a whole bunch of records. We can talk about that in the Midnights video. But like maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after Taylor Swift releases Midnight, she announces that she's going on tour. And I think she's only announced the American dates. I didn't see any dates for any other country other than America. So I think this is just the first leg of the tour. This is the American stuff. And so she partnered with Ticketmaster because if you guys don't know, at least in America, when it comes to like booking stadiums and stuff, when it comes to selling tickets for stadiums and stuff, you kind of have to go to Ticketmaster. There's low-key no other way to like do something like that unless you go through Ticketmaster, whether you're the artist or the fan. So she partnered with Ticketmaster, and I get an email because I had bought some Midnights merch. You'll see me wearing it at some point, like literally next year. Like not like 2023. You'll see me in a video wearing it, because the merch doesn't ship out until the 10th, and I'm sending it to my grandmother's, where I'm going for winter break. So like I'm not going to have it until I get back home for winter break. But anyway, so I get an email, and we get an email talking. I wish I had dates. I don't. I'm not doing all that. Look it up. But we get an email, and I get an email talking about how, because I'm pre-registering, so you can register for the pre-sale. Registration will be open for a certain period of time. And I was like, okay, like, I was thinking about going to go see Taylor. I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm, a new Swiftie-ish. I really became a Swiftie around the folklore era. So it's kind of like, like, I don't know if I really want to go spend my money to go see Taylor Swift. And then I started thinking about it more. My friends were talking about it. And one of my friends is like, we're going to try and go see her in her state because she's not coming to New Orleans. And anyway, so we're going to go try and go see her in a different state. I'm not telling you all where. Yeah, so we're going to try and see her in a different state. And I was like, you know what? Let's get tickets together. So we are going to, I'm going to pre-register. We're both going to pre-register so that at least if one of us doesn't get into the pre-register, if one of us doesn't get into the pre-sale, hopefully the other one will. So we ended up both getting into the pre-sale, but I got into the pre-sale for the show that we're actually going to go see, like the one we got tickets for. And my friend, because though that show was in such high demand, they got bumped to a show in a different city in that state. But we'll get to that later. So, and then, I also received an email after I had registered saying that because I had bought Taylor Swift merch, my place in line for registration was bumped up because I bought merch. So there was that. Obviously, because I told you in the beginning of the video that I got my tickets, I get into the pre-sale. And me and my friend are making a whole thing out of this. We both woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning, which for me is very, very early because my days here in college don't start until 11 on Tuesdays and Thursdays and 11:30 on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I only have, I don't have to get up until 10 o'clock on most days. So we're waking up 3 hours early to get ready. We meet up in the 6th floor lounge at my dormitory where I am, and we go into the lounge with my laptop, my charger and everything, and we get set up for the pre-sale. Now the pre-sale is 10 a.m. local venue time. Luckily for us, the venue that we're going to is in the same time zone as us, even though we have to go to a different state to go see Taylor. So we are getting everything set up. We have our Wi-Fi in. My friend's mom was buying the ticket, so I had her card already on my account. We were ready to go. I had everything up and running. I closed out all my tabs. I saved all my tabs and closed out all my tabs, and had just Ticketmaster up. Clicked the link that we got in our text messages, which I'll talk to you about that in a second. And we're getting ready. So now let's talk about the link. I told you it was going to be a second. So we got a link, and the link was the link to the registration. Nope, the link was the link to the pre-sale website. And if you were a verified fan, which is what we were, you would get taken to a specific part of Ticketmaster where you were put into a waiting room that told you had a countdown for when you could get into the queue. So my only issue with this is that we're going to get to it. I'm going to talk about more in detail, but I'm going to leave a little tidbits of what's going on. Eventually, hours into us waiting to get our tickets, Ticketmaster was if you're going to, an hour or so before pre-sale happened. I'm so sorry, guys. It was a lot going on that day. But an hour or so before pre-sale happens, Ticketmaster is okay, so when we know we sent you all links to the pre-sale on your phones. However, it's better if you use a desktop computer or a laptop so that you won't run into any issues. And everyone was I wish I knew that when you sent out the link a few days ago. I wish I had known that. And luckily for me, I thought ahead, not dragging anybody who wasn't able to think ahead. That's not your fault. You got your link through your phone. If you ended up going on your phone to get your tickets, whatever, because that's Ticketmaster. They should have emailed us our links. But I was lucky enough to think ahead and just copy the link and email it to myself. so that I could just go on my computer and click it. And I starred the email, saved it, so that when pre-sale day comes, I can just click the link and it'll pop up on my computer. So, where are we in this now? So, we're waiting for 10 a.m. we're waiting for 10 a.m. venue time. There we go. We're waiting at 10 a.m. venue time. And then 10 o'clock starts and we get put into a queue. Great, we are in a queue. Now, I kind of knew that like we were going to be here for like at least 30 minutes to maybe an hour to try and get these tickets. That's just what I kind of assumed going into this, because I don't know why I thought this. Well, because I didn't know about like how Ticketmaster gets down. I haven't been to a concert in like eons, but the way we get into our queue, and we are in the section of people where it was like 2,000 plus people in front of you. And we're in this queue and everything. My friend is scrolling on TikToks. We're in good spirits. And we find somebody on our TikTok named Miss Shelby. She is important. We're going to get back to her because she's the reason why we stayed sane throughout all of this. And so Miss Shelby is live streaming her experience with Ticketmaster, getting her stuff too. And everyone who's going to the shows in her time zone are also watching this live stream with her. We're all excited. Again, we're all in good spirits. So like 30 minutes passes and like nothing is happening. Our queue's not moving forward, but I'm scrolling on Twitter and I see that like, oh, okay, people are getting tickets. The queue is moving. We just gotta like wait our turn because duh. So we're sitting there for an hour, and then 1 hour turns to 2 hours, and 2 hours turns to 3. Mind you, at like 1 o'clock that day, I had an appointment at the Toyota Center to like get some things fixed with my car. So I could not stay on my laptop the entire day. Also, we were skipping, don't skip class in college, go to class in college. But like for Taylor Swift, we were skipping class to stay on our laptops and stay with the Wi-Fi so that we could, get our tickets and everything, right? So I am like, okay, it is very obvious that like this is going to take longer than expected and we are going to just have to roll with the punches. So I'm trying to figure out a way to describe what I'm trying to talk about. At around maybe like 12 o'clock ish, like right before 12, so about maybe almost 2 hours in, we get a notification on Ticketmaster. It pops up like right, you guys can't, right where my finger is, right there in the little corner on my computer screen. And Ticketmaster has said that because demand was so high that they had to stop the queue because there were things that were glitching. Now, I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going on? So I take my ass to Twitter. I go to Ticketmaster because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Girl, Ticketmaster is getting dragged. Whoa, they are getting dragged through the mud. The entire East Coast cannot get their tickets. Oh my God, the entire East Coast cannot get their tickets. Mind you, I'm central. I'm in Louisiana right now for college, so I'm central time, I think. But like the entire East Coast can't get their tickets. And like they were supposed to get their tickets and then be almost done by the time we got our tickets. And then we were supposed to get our tickets and then be almost done by the time California's time was supposed to come in to get their tickets. But because Ticketmaster's servers or something was so backed up, and there were so many glitches happening with the website, eventually everyone on the East Coast was on Ticketmaster at one time. Then everyone on the East Coast and Central Time in America was on at one time. And then everyone in the entire contiguous 48 are on Ticketmaster at the exact same time. So what ends up happening is that I'm looking and I'm seeing that the reason why Ticketmaster basically had to pause the queue is because a lot of people who got into the pre-sale via registration, they got the email and they got the link and they clicked the link to go to the website and they're on the correct account, they're on the correct everything's correct. But Ticketmaster is saying that like they're not a verified fan. And so people are like, well, I registered, I got all the emails, I got all the links that I was supposed to get. How am I not a registered fan? So Ticketmaster basically had to stop for like a few hours to fix all that. And then there were some people who like didn't even get there were some people who got the email saying that they were in for registration and then got nothing else after that. So they didn't know where to look. Some people never received a text message. There was a whole bunch of shit on Ticketmaster's part that was going on. So at this point, it's like about to be like 1. My appointment's at like 1:30. I'm like, okay, I gotta drive like 40 minutes to get to the nearest Toyota Center because we're in the South. Everything's far away. So I got to skedaddle. So my friend is staying on my laptop in the lounge by herself to hold down the fort to get our tickets. Right? So now I'm on Twitter walking to my car and I'm seeing that like Ticketmaster for the entire West Coast crashed. Oh my god. The Ticketmaster for the entire West Coast not working. And the West Coast, like at that point, they were an hour. The West Coast at that point, they were like 2 hours in to the pre-sale. Mind you, our pre-sale started at like 10 o'clock venue time. So we were at that point almost 1:30. We were on there for almost 5 hours at that point. And I'm going to say we were there for about 5 hours at that point because we got set up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we were there for about 5 hours. And I'm just like, girl, please, just like, hold down the fort, get your tickets. If you're still like waiting for tickets by the time I get back from my Toyota appointment, because I had to get an oil change, that was it. But if you're like, still, oh, my trash. But if you're still waiting, I will like stop at like a McDonald's and get some chicken nuggets for you, girl, because like you have not eaten all day. So I gotta go to the Toyota Center, and like on the way, I'm watching Miss Shelby. This is where Miss Shelby comes in, because Miss Shelby is the reason why me and my friend stayed fucking sane throughout the entire thing. I was on there in the Toyota Center watching her updates, watching people talk about their experiences with Ticketmaster and talking about how people in Chicago, their queue hasn't moved. People in North Carolina, their queues haven't moved. People in California are freaking out because Ticketmaster had crashed on them. It is pandemonium, and Ticketmaster is getting dragged left and right. Oh my God, they're getting dragged left and right, as they should, because this was a shit show. There was no reason why at this point, most of the East Coast have been on here for 6 hours at this point. Central Time have been on for 5, and the California time was about to hit 3-4 hours waiting for their tickets. And then at the 3 hour mark, the California time, or whatever time was on the West Coast, I forgot, I can't think of it right now. Pacific Standard Time, there we go. Everyone in PST time, their Ticketmaster just crashes on them. So, oops, you're not getting your tickets. And apparently, because there was so much traffic on the Ticketmaster website, they basically had to reload their site, which meant that which means that if your queue was moving and you were next in line, you got reset. That's what that means. So Ticketmaster is trying to give us all these updates and everything, and people are pissed because why can't no one get tickets? The whole point of the verified fan pre-sale is so that actual fans can get tickets and that tickets can be kept out of the hands of scalpers and resellers. So I'm at a Toyota Center, I'm watching Miss Shelby, we're all talking about our experiences, and then my friend is like, hey, our queue is moving, because it was moving by the time we left. We were like moving, we maybe moved like an inch on our screen, so about maybe like 10% we had moved. And my friend, my other friend calls me because she had went up to the 6th floor lounge to stay with her for a bit, and she tells me that like we were next in line to get our tickets, and then we got reset and booted back to the back of the line. And that pissed me all the way off. And I was like, oh my God. And I couldn't like freak the hell out in a Toyota Center. So I was like, girl, just like tell her to keep strong, and like we'll see if we can still get tickets. Anyway, another hour passes by, and at around the time my car gets done, maybe like 10 minutes before my car gets done, my friend calls me and she's like, we got our tickets. We got our tickets. We got everything. We got 6 because there's 5 of us are going. We got an extra ticket on accident, and now my other friend is going to come with us to the Taylor Swift concert. So we got 6 because a whole bunch of us are going, and that's how much you can get at one time for the pre-sale. So we got our 6 tickets. We got pretty good seats. Our seats, we were in like the $200-300 range for our seats. So we're like on the first level, right by where the stage is. So I'm very, very excited about that. And yeah, so Ticketmaster's getting dragged, but we got our tickets. My car is done, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna be fine. Thank the Lord. So I'm driving back to school, and again, 40 minutes because again, we're in the South. Everything apparently, nothing's in a city. Apparently, we don't got a car dealership in New Orleans. It has to be 40 minutes outside of New Orleans. I don't understand that, but we get our car. I get my car. I'm driving back to school. I get back to school and I'm checking Twitter because of course I am. And I'm like, I wonder if other people got their tickets. At this point, Miss Shelby, who's going to the same show that we're going to just a day earlier, she still hasn't gotten her tickets yet. She eventually did get her tickets, thank God. But it had been like 8 hours at that point. I didn't get back to school till around 5 o'clock. And it had been 8 hours, almost 9, since we got on this fucking website. So it's a couple of days passes by. I'm like, oh my God, thank God we got our tickets. And one thing. So California's time, PST people, because Ticketmaster was so overloaded, everyone got booted out of Ticketmaster. And they were told that your pre-sale is now going to start at 3 p.m. venue time. So that's 4 p.m. for us. So everyone on PST, and they get their tickets eventually. And I'm like, okay, we all got our tickets, everyone's happy, and now all that's left is like, I was like, look, if the pre-sale was this bad, this is my thought process. If the pre-sale was this terrible, imagine general sale. It's going to be a fucking bloodbath. Oh my God. So couple of days passes by. It's the weekend, thank God. And I'm checking Twitter. Why did the general sale get canceled? The general sale gets canceled. I'm sitting here like, why did the general sale get canceled? Are they going to try and fix something? Come to find out, Ticketmaster sold every single ticket in the pre-sale. How? And Ticketmaster was like, due to unprecedented demand, liars. Due to unprecedented demand, the show sold out. It sold out in the pre-sale. Here's my thing though. You had to register to get into the pre-sale, which means that Ticketmaster chose how many people got into the pre-sale. I'm almost certain that in total for all the American dates, there are about 2.5 million tickets or seats available. And almost all of them got sold out in the pre-sale. Pretty much all of them got sold out. 2.1 million got sold out in the pre-sale. And the other people who got their tickets were people in the Capital One pre-sale that happened like a day after. But Ticketmaster gets to choose. Because of the registration, because you had to register. They chose how many people got into the pre-sale. They knew how many people were going to be on their website trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. Also, it's fucking Taylor Swift. How do you not know that like Taylor Swift is going to like have high demand for touring? She is like the third most highest grossing touring. Whoa, she's the third highest grossing touring act. Highest grossing female touring act of all time. Right after Beyonce and Madonna. Right? I think so. Right after Beyonce and Madonna, she is the third most popular like touring act of all time. How did y'all not know that everyone on earth was going to try and get tickets to this fucking concert? How did y'all not know that? And I don't understand exactly what the hell happened at Ticketmaster, but the fact that nearly every single ticket, except for 400,000 or 500,000 tickets, got like sold in the pre-sale is ridiculous. That is utterly ridiculous. So everyone who didn't get into the registration, everyone who had their hopes up that by the time the general sale happened that they would still be able to get tickets, dashed. And what's crazy is that Taylor Swift added like 10 new dates to her tour because they were like, oh shit, everyone's trying to come to this tour. Everyone in America is trying to come to this tour for this American leg of the tour. So they added like 10 new dates to the tour. She's playing the show that we're going to 4 times. She's playing LA 4 times. She's playing like New York like 3 or 4 times. Like she's playing certain cities. She's playing almost every single city at least twice. She's playing almost every single major city at least twice. So, and this all happened like a week before the Ticketmaster thing. So how? I understand that the demand was high for Taylor Swift, but like, duh. How did y'all not know that? Ticketmaster, how did y'all not know that? And why would you all let 2.1 million people buy tickets? Because that's about how many, that's the number that I was seeing float around of how many tickets like got sold, because there was barely enough for the people in the pre-sale the next day. And then the day after that was the general sale. So how this happened, I have no idea. I don't know. Ticketmaster just needs to get their shit together. Eventually, Taylor Swift and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, of all people, makes a statement. And Taylor is basically like, I don't know what happened, but like there were some things that happened that I was not told was going to happen, and we're investigating this because this makes no sense that like there are so many people who are my fans who can't come see me. That is crazy. So Taylor is like basically trying, she's very upset. And I can tell by the way she's writing it, she's upset. I know she's upset. But also, Taylor is also like, for those of you all who did get tickets, we're going to try and just have a good time. And too many of you all are like blaming Taylor for something that has nothing to do with her. Taylor Swift is not Taylor Swift and her team are not the people who let 2.1 million people get tickets when there only had 2.5 million available. That's not what Taylor Swift did. If people are calling Taylor Swift a capitalist, but Taylor Swift is a capitalist. Let's not get that wrong. Taylor Swift is a capitalist because duh. But y'all act like Taylor Swift doesn't care about any of this stuff. Like, this is her reputation on the line. This is her reputation. And this is her business. And this is her livelihood. And there's so many things on the line with this concert. People's jobs, people that most of y'all don't give a fuck about. It all matters. And y'all are blaming Taylor Swift for something that had nothing to do with her. Ticketmaster is the one that did all this shit. And Ticketmaster is the one that allegedly lied to Taylor Swift. So how is Taylor supposed to do something when, one, she has no control? Because here's the thing. People were like, Taylor did this thing where she sold tickets to her Reputation Era tour on her website. And fans were like, why didn't she just do that? But here's the thing. Taylor Swift and her team probably knew that everyone in America and beyond was going to try and come to this concert. And so that's probably why, just throwing it out there, that's probably why. How can I say this? That's probably why they went with Ticketmaster. Okay, I'll say it this way. That's probably why they went with Ticketmaster. Because maybe Ticketmaster has the servers, and Ticketmaster has the experience, Ticketmaster has the Ticketmaster is large enough to host people buying tickets for this tour. Do y'all know how expensive and non-practical it will be for Taylor Swift to, like, and her team to buy a shitload of servers just to sell out a concert? That makes no sense. I understand why people are upset. I really do. Because if I was like a diehard from like the beginning and I really wanted to come see her on this tour and I didn't get a ticket, I would be pissed off too. But y'all cannot be blaming Taylor for something that's not her fault. And y'all gotta stop saying that Taylor Swift doesn't care. She probably really does. Knowing that woman, knowing that girl, she is very close to her fans. She probably does care a lot. So leave her alone for a little bit, please. Anyway, so that happens. Ooh, not my laptop going off. Oh my gosh, my bullet points. AOC basically makes a response saying that, like, Live Nation and Ticketmaster should have never been able to merge, which, duh. They should have never been able to merge, and they need to be broken up so that we can have more than one. So Ticketmaster doesn't have a monopoly on getting on ticket sales. Ticketmaster basically has the lighting changed just now. I didn't do anything. Okay, but Ticketmaster basically has the monopoly on tickets. So that was AOC's statement, and she's right. And it was kind of funny being on Twitter and seeing like Taylor Swift fans becoming like anti-capitalist and lobbying for Ticketmaster to be like torn down brick by brick. Like, that was kind of funny. I was like, oh my god, not like the Swifties are going to be the people to like break up the Ticketmaster Live Nation merger. Oh my god. But so that's happening. The FBI apparently is investigating. Allegedly, they're investigating. Let me say that, allegedly, before Ticketmaster has to sue me. They're investigating this. Taylor Swift and her team are investigating this. So like, I feel like we'll get more information like maybe sometime in the future, maybe like December, January, February. But yeah. And now I'm got the part of the video where I talk about my final thoughts on everything. What a shit show. What a shit show. Ticketmaster turned something that should have been fun, that should have been exciting, that should have gotten your blood pumping, into something that was horrible for over 2 million people. I understand that Taylor Swift is in extremely high demand. However, it should not have been that difficult for most of the country to get their tickets. That makes no sense to me. It should not have been that difficult for most of the country to get their tickets. And quite frankly, they shouldn't have sold out all the tickets in the pre-sale. Was no one keeping track of how many people were in the pre-sale? How do you sell out over 80% of the tickets? No. How do you sell out 90% of the tickets in a pre-sale that only a select few people can be a part of? At the most, they should have sold 400,000 or 500,000 tickets, maybe 600,000, and then the other 1.7, 1.8 million be up for general sale. How allegedly 2 million people? How allegedly 2 million people got tickets to this thing during the pre-sale makes no sense. Why Ticketmaster? Why there were thousands? Because this was a big problem. Why there were thousands of people who not only did not get a link, whose verified fan thing was not working. There were people who weren't verified fans who got into the verified fan pre-sale, even though they didn't register, even though they didn't get into the registered pre-sale, they still got in. Even though there were codes not sent out, even though it was a whole bunch of stuff, codes were not working. Everything was a shit show. The definition of my experience with getting my Taylor tickets is what a shit show. This should not have been this difficult. And all I know is one thing. Oof, I gotta comb my hair out, y'all. I washed it today, thank God. But, okay, whatever. All I know is that Beyonce is rumored to go on tour next year. So, I need AOC and the Swifties to, like, tear down Ticketmaster brick by brick before that ends up happening. Because I will definitely go through this experience again to get Beyonce tickets. Like, I don't know who the fuck you think you're talking to. I most definitely am going to get I have to hear Renaissance live. Oh, and oh. I have to hear Renaissance live. I just have to. I have to hear Renaissance live. So, this needs to be fixed before then. And this also needs to be fixed before other huge touring acts decide to go back on tour for the summer. This was too much. It was too frustrating. It shouldn't have been this frustrating, but it was so frustrating. It shouldn't have been this difficult to get tickets to a concert. Again, I understand that Taylor Swift is like a very much in high demand artist. Again, highest grossing female act. Third highest grossing female act of all time currently. And after this tour, she might be number one. Depending on how many shows she does. But it shouldn't have been this difficult. This should have been handled so much better. Ticketmaster, this is the thing, like, this has probably been in the works for months. How no one caught so many of the errors that ended up happening on that day will completely baffle me. They don't care. At the end of the day, Ticketmaster is getting their money. They don't care. Taylor Swift cares, I'm assuming, but probably not as much because she's still getting paid regardless. And her tickets are sold out as far as she's concerned. So, as far as her and her label are concerned, everything's gone the way it needs to be. To those of you who had to go through hell and hell and hell to get your tickets, I am so sorry, and I am so glad that you were able to get your Taylor Swift tickets and that you are going to go see Taylor Swift on tour. Oh my gosh, good luck. Do not faint. Remember to hydrate, and we're going to have a good time. To all of my girlies who got into the pre-sale and did not get their tickets, I am extremely sorry to you guys, because there's no reason why y'all shouldn't have gotten tickets. And this is completely on Ticketmaster, in my opinion. This is completely on Ticketmaster. Because there's no way that an alleged 2.1 million people should have gotten tickets when they only had 2.4 or 2.5 million to sell, allegedly. And to all my people who weren't able to get into the pre-sale at all and who weren't able to register and was expecting to get tickets in the general sale and that got canceled and you didn't get your tickets, I'm so sorry too. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be the one that apologizes to you all, but like, someone has to. Because it's not going to be Ticketmaster. They're not going to give you an apology that you guys want. Y'all should have been able to at least had a fighting chance to get tickets. I feel like people in the general sale will be a bit less upset if they had a chance to get tickets and they didn't get them, versus them not having a chance at all to get tickets. So, Ticketmaster's going to hell. Taylor, whenever she decides to go on her next tour, if this isn't fixed by the time Taylor goes on her next tour in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, she needs to find an alternative to Ticketmaster. She has to. She just has to, because I don't think her fans can go through this again. I really don't. And good luck. I'm so happy everyone got their tickets that wanted to get tickets, and if you didn't, again, I am so sorry. But I'm going to go see Taylor Swift. I'm very excited. We're looking at Airbnbs now. We're trying to plan the trip. We have until April. I'm trying to get a job next semester. So I'll give you guys a college update video probably when I'm back home or right before I leave, depending on when my roommate leaves for, going home. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. I didn't think this video was going to be like this long. I'm sorry that I'm back to like 40 plus minute long videos. I'm very sorry that I'm back to that, but like, this was a lot. This was too much. This was frankly too much. I've never it wasn't even this hard to get Beyonce tickets, and Beyonce is like arguably one of the best touring acts of all time. And the way Beyonce did it, it wasn't hard to get tickets. So hopefully we don't have this problem when the Renaissance tour happens, but you never know. So I'm going to go. I'm going to try and film another video, and I will talk to you all later. Goodbye. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to share and comment. It really helps me. Not only does it help me to push my channel into the algorithm so people can watch me, but it helps to grow my channel. I want to grow this community. I eventually want to start a Patreon at some point, so that if people feel comfortable enough supporting me financially, they can do that. But I don't think my audience is big enough for me to like justifiably start a Patreon. I don't think nobody will subscribe to that. Most of the people who are like following me are my friends. Hi guys. But yeah, I don't know. This was a harrowing experience, but like we got through it. Those of us who did, we got through it. Anyway, I'm gonna actually go now before this ends up being like a 45+ minute long video. Bye guys.